Hey, good evening guys. Tush coming at you. Wednesday, January 11th, just coming up to 7:30. And we contemplated sitting on the couch for the rest of the evening, but we decided to come out here and play around a little bit anyway. Maybe we can tackle this little flange area tonight. That's what we're going to plan to do anyway. We'll see how far we get. So I figured we'd spend at least an hour out here tonight and see how we do. Had a couple of people asking me questions regarding sandblasting. I know Bruce had a question for me on one of my earlier videos about how I'm sandblasting inside the garage and does it make a mess. And the quick answer to that is yes, it makes a horrible mess. You can actually see here all the blast media that it's sort of just covering the garage floor. At one point I tried to actually make a like a backing sheet to actually catch the blast media and recycle it, but now I just let it fall on the floor and I give the garage a good sweep up every now and then, every so often. We'll do a quick clean up and just basically throw all the old used blasting media out, because it gets, you know, it picks up a lot of rust and debris from just sort of laying down on the ground. So I've sort of gone beyond actually trying to recycle that. So yes, it does make a tremendous mess. It does make a heck of a lot of dust, but what I do is I generally try to get all my sandblasting done, and then we'll have a big garage clean out. Usually that happens in the springtime, and when the garage doors are open, and everything will get blown out of here with a, usually I use a leaf blower as my main piece of equipment to clean the garage out. But yeah, you can never get it fully cleaned, and it does make an incredible mess. But it's sort of a necessary evil, I think, in some cases, to be able to get down to the pitting and you know, some pretty deep pitting in this metal. So again, I'm not doing the complete car in here as far as sandblasting is concerned. I still have a thought about taking this car up to the sandblasters where I had the frame done. If you recall, I had that done I think last year. So I'll probably take the body tub up to the same place at some point in time, but really what I'm doing now is I'm just doing small areas, and in particular I was going to do this area tonight with the sandblaster just to clean this area up a little bit. And like I said, I primarily like to do the blasting where I'm doing my repair areas. First of all, to make sure the metal's solid. Second of all, to make sure that I can actually get the pitting out of the metal and I don't have to replace it. So I know there's a couple of different ways about doing this. I mean, some guys would actually get the car either dipped or sandblasted immediately before doing any work on it. And then there's the other school of thought, which is do your repairs and then have it sandblasted. So, and actually, if you read one of the I think how to restore books on the Triumph TR3A, I think it's by Williams or Piggott, I can't remember, but they suggest to do the sandblasting after you make your repair. So anyway, we're sort of going about it in that direction, and that was sort of forced upon us because I couldn't get the sandblaster to cooperate with my schedule at one point, so I've just sort of put that aside for now, and we've continued on doing some repairs, and at some point, like I said, we'll get this up to the blaster. So anyway, so as far as Martin from Retro Restore, which is a great channel, so check Martin out if you get a chance. All I'm basically doing is bucket blasting. So I've got a bucket of media here. This is just glass, crushed glass. I think it's between 30 and 60 grit. So it's fairly coarse green glass that I'm using. And all I've got basically is a blasting hood, and we've got a mask that we wear. And generally I'll wear some eye protection even under the hood, as this front lens is fairly flimsy, so I don't want to get any of that media in my eyes. So that's generally what we do. So maybe I'll fire the compressor up and we'll do a quick demo blasting of this little area over here. Okay guys, we'll come back. Oh, and one tip on sandblasting: if you are going to be doing it openly and in the garage, it's a good idea to put your video camera or your cell phone or any electronics that you have in the garage with you in a Ziploc baggie. So I keep my Ziploc baggies up there, and we'll store the camera in that while we're doing the sandblasting, just to keep the dust out of it. So there's a tip of the day. Okay guys, we're going to try to do a little sandblasting video. So we're going to try to do this area in here. And I've noticed that it looks like I have a little bit of undercoating here, so It doesn't work very well on undercoating. The media just bounces off of it. So we'll try to do this area along this edge here and up in here and see how we do. So I'm just going to throw my hood on and my mask on and get gloved up. All right. Here we go. Don't kink your hose. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a sample of what you can do in a short period of time. Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah. So there you go. The compressor hasn't even kicked back on yet, so that's a good thing. So anyway, we'll turn this off for now. We're going to start getting into taking that flange piece off, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, we'll come back. So there's a little bit closer shot up on that area that we just blasted quickly. So another question I've been asked is about these Dremel discs and where I use them. So I think it was ASIC Eric. So Eric asked me where I use these, and this would be a perfect example of where I'd want to use this when I want to grind out these welds down here to sort of release this piece without damaging too much of the surrounding metal around it. So it's a really good tool to be able to get in there and just buzz those welds off. So that's generally what I use the Dremel grinding disc for, to do things like that. Or anywhere where there's really poor access, I'll generally use the small grinding disc. So just a quick look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to grind all these welds out of here, and we're going to release this little overlap piece. Okay guys, here's the plan. So there's where I want to cut. Now let me see if we can see without, yeah, I guess you can see without the light. So I got to be careful with this line here because there's structure behind here that I don't want to run into. There's actually a bracing that runs along sort of in parallel with the lip of this edge here. So I got to be careful with the structure in behind there. We want to bring it across, and then I want to bring it up and follow where the tail light sort of meets it, just inside of that. So because I want to sort of keep that radius for the tail light piece. So hopefully we'll be able to just go to the right of that and find some good metal to weld to there. So we'll just sort of concentrate on cutting that patch out, and we'll see how we do. I just gave it another quick grind to see if there was any lead left there, because obviously I'm going to have a problem if it's got lead left there. So it looks like it's clean, or clean enough to weld. So anyway, we'll cut that out, There's a look at that top area where we sort of bent that flange up after grinding it off, so you can just sort of see that's free floating. Hopefully you can see that. So that's it, guys, for now. We'll cut that out and we'll start making a patch for it. Okay, I promised to stop harping on the cost of these things, but this is kind of a cool feature. So this is the 12 pack, and it's got this kind of little cool little spring-loaded sort of thing at the bottom, which brings the new discs up to the top, which I thought was kind of cool. So anyway, see, I'm giving Dremel some credit. All right. Okay, so there's that section cut out. So what we'll do now is we'll cut the remainder of that top flange piece out. We'll replace that top flange first, and then we'll come back and we'll replace this piece. So there's that cutout from the inside. As you can see, I've got some rust in there. So again, that's a perfect opportunity to use the spot blaster to get in there and get that rust while you can, and to clean up around the area that you're going to repair. So we're going to do that, and we'll actually blast that with some zinc primer before we go ahead and weld in the repair patch. I should mention that the expectation is that when I do take this car to the blasters, that they'll be doing areas like this that are highly accessible. So I'm really only trying to get the areas that are going to be hard to access when this panel is closed back in. So like I said, we may as well do it while we have the access. Okay guys, we got our patch cut here. So it's a little bit of a complex patch with that bend over the flange at the top, but I think I got it looking not too bad. So I think we're going to try to weld that in and see if we can get that bent over properly. So we'll come back. Okay guys, I think we're going to call it a night. So there's that patch in. There's a little tiny pinhole that I need to fix, but I think I'm going to be able to capture that when I do the tail light piece. So it's just getting a little thin over there on that area over there. So anyway, I think it looks pretty good. A little filler on that spot and she'll be good. We just have the flange to weld down, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Again, better than the big gaping hole that was there. But that's it for tonight, guys. We'll probably upload this and we'll get a fresh start tomorrow. Have a good night.